G'day guys, welcome back. I am Pierre and this is Simple Home Brew. Today I'm doing a new type of wine kit. It's from On The House. It's a Shiraz. Now I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but I certainly have about a week ago. I never knew these guys existed. Let's try it, huh? So I'd like first to thank Verhulsdonk for supplying me with most of my brewing products. The other day I went there and needed to stock up some grains for a future brew and some product, you know, getting some updates and getting some extra bits that I need and stocking up basically. So in the meantime, it caught my eye. It was just a light green box, nothing like the colouring of Wine Expert, but it looks like the Wine Expert box. I haven't opened it yet. I'm going to do an unboxing. And I'm going to start the first part of brewing this wine. Cheers guys, I just did a review on this beer. Absolutely awesome. It's a Be Kind Rewind by Mountain Culture Beer Co. Beautiful beer. I'll leave a link there for it. So first, I'm going to unbox this and see what's actually in it. Alright, looks like straight away, same as Wine Expert's product. We'll open the packet up. We're going to need to know what's in there. So firstly, we've got the chitosan. That's for clearing. The instruction booklet, which looks just like a Wine Expert one. We've got Traralgon EC 118, which is a wine yeast. Kaisersol. 2 packets of sulfite, sorbate, and bentonite. I tell you what, it's just like a Wine Expert one. We also have some granular. So I don't know what these is, oat grains. So they're obviously going in too. And we also have our goon bag, which I'll take out just to show you, but I want to put it back in because that's the best way to pour it while it's in there. So that's a goon bag or a colostomy bag. I'm joking. It's a goon bag of red wine, just a Shiraz. So Shiraz is a grape type, and it's a weird, strange flavour. And I don't mind Shiraz. It's quite a full flavoured grape, and I'm hoping that it'll come out really nice. First thing I do is set this aside. So we'll grab our bentonite. Bentonite is the first thing we dissolve before we do anything else. We also have to, of course, sanitize everything we work on, so make sure we sanitize everything. I'm going to fill my kettle up with about 2 litres of hot water. Well, cold water, but heat it up. Well, the kettle's nearly boiled, but I want to tell you something about a Camden tablet. A Camden tablet is Camden. So basically Camden will neutralise chlorine that might be in your tap water, which I'm going to use today. I'm only going to use half because I only need 20 litres or so. And this half a tablet I'll crumble into a cup. So I'll just crumble it in, pop it in a cup here, and with this boiled water now that's finished boiling, I'll just put some in the cup. I don't know if you can see me do that. That'll dissolve the tablet, as well as pop the rest of the hot water. And the reason why I put so much hot water in it, especially 2 litres, I know this camera's going to be foggy. Bentonite, in the past they said to dissolve it in a small cup, but it got too coagulated, too much, too thick, hard to stir, hard to mix. So the best way is to sprinkle it in. Now, you'll never get this to work perfectly, but it helps anyway. To just sprinkle it in a little bit, stir. You do it like this because it limits the amount of coagulation. It will dissolve much easier, and it is very hard to do. Bentonite is just a clay from a volcanic region. It has a natural ability to attach itself to proteins that's in your wine to help it settle when you want to clear it out later on. So that's why we put bentonite in. I'm sure you can see what I'm doing there. Just sprinkle a little bit in and stir it. It really helps to dissolve it properly. It really doesn't matter if you don't dissolve it properly. It will dissolve eventually over time because it thickens up and becomes like a... It's like what happens when you make porridge. It gets thick after a while. Pretty much the same, but it won't do it in that massive aspect. So have a look at the end there. that's got coagulation. It's just sticking to the thing. It's just standard. It just does it. Because plastic is positively charged. And this stuff will pretty much attach itself to it. Now in the instructions, it doesn't say to put a Camden tablet in. Now if you're using pure water, purified water, or mineral water, you'll be fine. There's no chlorine. It's just so that because I'm using tap water, I want to eliminate chlorine and chloramine in my wine to just help with the flavouring, help it, come out as good as I can get it when by making homemade wine. So that's ready to go. So what I have to do now is put my extract in, or my concentrate wine or grape juice. I'll move this aside, out of the way. Grab my concentrate. You'll see some videos out there that talk about grabbing the goon bag, choking it like a chicken, and pouring it out, but that's really awkward. There is a solution. All you need to do is force the cap through the top here. Now, wine experts, some of their older stuff had this. You could split that a little bit in the end, just like that. Push that through. Do all this before you open the cap. This is a cheats way. This stops and gives you more control over the flow of juice into your pot. I found that it's quite ominous to try and pour this without it being restrained. You can open it with anything. I've opened it with just a pair of scissors, ready to go, and we'll just pour it in. I'll bring that pot there so you guys can see. And just like that, in it goes. And this makes it so much easier to pour. As you know, we need 23 litres. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be 23. It's the same as our wine expert one. Now those floaties, that's actually part of the bentonite that's in there. That's still dissolving. What I'll do now is I'll fill my concentrate up for another 10 litres of water and pour that in. I might actually put it in my fermenter first and pour it into my fermenter. That might be the way to go. I've already sanitized and cleaned this and got it ready. The sanitizer has been in here for probably a couple of hours now. It probably shouldn't have been, but it's definitely fully sanitized. So now I need to pour my juice into my fermenter carefully. Oh, that smells so good. You guys, I wish we had smell-o-vision, I'll tell you. So what I'll do is I'll put water in my pot now. I will put 10 litres in there and then pour that in, and hopefully then it'll be ready to go. All right, so now everything's susceptible to contamination. Make sure you put sanitizer in the bottle. It will help with your brewing big time. So what I'm doing, I'm just quickly stirring that up just to make sure that it's mixed through. And I'll pour that in as well. That's another 10 litres of just water and, of course, some of the leftover concentrate. So we need to bring the wine up to 23 litres to get it to the right measurement. And that won't be too hard because all I have now is to bring it up. I'll tell you how many. So all I need to do is add another 6 litres in. So it's strange because I haven't rinsed this out. I'll put 6 litres in here and rinse this out and pour it in. How stupid. So what I've done is I filled the goon bag up for another 6 litres. And I'm going to pour that in just to rinse it out. So that pretty much cleans out the whole goon bag. So our measurement's at 23 litres. We're finished with the pot now. Do I need to add anything else? Let me see. So I have granular oak chips. I'll add them in right now, both packets. Yeah, I'll show you what they look like. Nice little granulars. They're going in now. That helps with the oak conditioning of your wine. I'll mix that up. we actually put the sanitised spoon in there so I can really stir it. And remember, sanitizer like this does not, it's non-rinse sanitizer, and it's really quite alright. I wanted to stir in the oak chips, sorry, so that it really is in there. So there's one more thing left to do, or actually two, but I'm not going to do the first thing because these kits are very regular with their measurements. So you put 23 litres of water in, the concentrate is measured exactly the same, sugar rating that is. You should get a reading of about 1.074 to 1.096 as a gravity for your wine, which is so accurate. It's usually the same every time. So I stopped measuring after a while because it was always the same. So they've obviously made these kits right. So after measuring your gravity, now I'll do that in a minute. Now it's a bit of mucking around doing, so I won't do it straight away. I'll pop a measurement here once I've done. We're going to lift this guy back into its position. 20 odd kilos. So we have our wine. This is it here, guys. Looking pretty good. It's in the fermenter, getting ready to go. I need to pitch the yeast. The yeast is Lavalin EC118, which is what they provide. Because it's winter here, it's still cold. It's not freezing cold. We're coming into spring. But I do have a heat mat under this just to get the temperature back up to where it needs to be. I also put in an insulated jacket so that light can't get in. All I have to do now, guys, is do my yeast. And that's the simplest part of the whole job. Just throw it in. Oh, and I've got most of it on the shaft. How about that? So what I might have to do is shake this one up and splash it all over the shaft so we get everything into the beer. Alrighty, that's it. That's beautiful. That's all shook up, ready to go. In about 2 weeks, I'll check the gravity, see what it's like. If it's finished fermenting, I'll start putting the clearing agents in, and we'll see you then. So we're at day, I think it's 15 now, or 16, something like that. We're about to transfer the wine into a carboy. The carboy's sitting there on the bench with sanitizer in it, ready to go. Make sure everything is sanitized. Today I'm going to transfer it using pressure, something I haven't done before. It's not under pressure at the moment. I have got a pressure vessel that I can use to do that. Hopefully, I'll minimize contamination. I won't put a automatic siphon. I'll actually just use pressure to push it into the actual carboy. So I'm sure you guys can see, I've set this up just so you can. I've got a transfer pipe with a quick connect on the top. This guy is going to be placed on top of my fermenter. It has sanitizer in it, so I've cleaned the inside out. I have a spray bottle of sanitizer that I'm going to spray the outside in with, so it doesn't contaminate my brew. And my carboy, which is full of sanitizer at the moment. Now, the foam won't hurt you, as it is. Foam is fine. It's just a minor acid base. We now need to remove the jacket, which I haven't seen the wine until now. I'll move you over here so I can show you what I'm doing. Have to unzip it. We're going to have a look what our wine looks like. There you go. So there's a yeast at the bottom here. It's been sitting here for about 4 or 5 days in its finished mode. This is something different. I've never transferred like this before. As you can see, there's a little tube inside there. That will be the pickup tube for my wine. The quick connector's on the other side. I need to put gas on this side, but first I need to block the hole that the airlock's sitting in. So I need to find a plug. And here it is. Just a blue plug. All I need to do is screw it in, pull the airlock out, like that. Let's throw that aside for a sec. Now I have sanitizer in a bottle, so I'll quickly spray my airlock so that it's soaking wet with sanitizer, put it in every little gap that anything can get into, and I'll throw that. Oh geez, gotta get the whole bit of the spray as well, and the quick connects need one as well, just to make sure. So what the airlock is doing is just going to block any movement of pressure of any kind from coming out, so I can pressurize this vessel. I'll just pressurize it only to about 2 psi, not high. Another spray. And I'll just quickly close the valve so it doesn't pressurize, just in case. Open that up for it to. We've got plenty of gas, so I'll just throw in a little bit. Open the valve. And that's more than enough. 2 psi, that's all we need. It will move from that. I'll leave that connected for now, so I can keep replacing what we lose. Now this is the next part. It has sanitizer all through it, but the outside hasn't been sanitized because I need to put it in the bottle. So what I'll do, in this bottle here, there is sanitizer. So I'll give the pipe a good wash. You can see the sanitizer coming out of it. Whoop, there you go. Sanitizer has been placed all over this now. So what I need to do now is connect my output connector to the output of the fermenter, but I can't do that until I remove my sanitizer. We need to put this somewhere where it won't be contaminated. Now I had to take a final gravity reading of the fermentation. I had to do it 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours before I did this, and I made sure that it was the right measurement. I can't remember, I think it was 10, no, I think it was 0.9666, I believe. I'll put the exact measurement up here for you. What you normally do is to check if it's finished fermenting, you check it, wait for 24 hours to 24 to 48 hours, check it again. If the fermentation hasn't changed in that time, you're pretty right. So this is ready. Now, I did lay this down on the inside of my thing, but I'm not really, what do you call it, confident that it will be fully sanitized. So I'll quickly spray this again with sanitizer. Again, sanitizer won't hurt you. It's very, very highly diluted. So if anything, it helps when you're fermenting. So what I'll do now is, because this is pressurized, it's going to push wine straight into this pipe immediately. Just like that. So it's transferring. Now it's going to be boring watching this, so I'll just speed the process up and come back to you once I'm at that point. The reason why you transfer it to a secondary is to make it more clear, as well as remove gases that build up from the fermenting process. When yeast eats the sugar, it spits out alcohol and carbon dioxide. So what happens is you get a build-up of carbon dioxide within the fluid. And what we're doing now is just basically transferring it to the carboy so we can stir it, put in some yeast-killing agents and some clearing agents, and get rid of any of the build-up of carbon dioxide. The alcohol stays. I think it's finished. So it's finished its transfer. It's pretty right, it's got a fair bit going on. A little bit left in the bottom of the fermenter, not much. It's probably about a glass full, which is okay. So checking out the instructions, I have to add some stuff to it now. The instructions are in English, which is a great thing. On day 14, but it's been much longer than day 14, so it is finished fully fermenting. I have to add the potassium metabisulfite and potassium sorbate packages, which is in one kit now. They don't do it in both separate kits anymore. So it's in the potassium metabisulfite and the potassium sorbate is all in one kit. So I've got to throw that in right now. as you can see on the GoPro there. I'll just throw that in. That's potassium metabisulfite. I'll give you a close-up of that one, so you know what I've put in. Now what that does, which one am I looking at? What that does is just clears it out, helps clear it out, helps kill any yeast that's left over. After I finish stirring this and getting the gas out, I put Kaisersol in. Kaisersol is another clearing agent that does it pretty much the same thing, just different kinds of agents to destroy different kinds of proteins that are already floating in this wine. I have a stirring stick that I made. I made this a while back. It's just a normal spoon, but I ground off the end and made it like a little, like a paddle. So I can fit it through the hole and actually stir it up. What I need to do now though is add a drill on the end and spin it. So what I do is I just add my battery drill, throw it on the end of the wand. I'll give it a spray because it is clean. I just need to give it a spray of sanitizer as well as my hands so I don't get anything on in my wine that's possibly going to contaminate it. And I will use a drill for about 4 minutes, just going one way, and I'll reverse the direction in about 30 seconds to the other way. And I'll do that for about 4 minutes to get rid of any gas. So I finished stirring it, gotten most of the gas hopefully out of it. Some of it would dissipate once I leave it for another couple of weeks. I now need to put the Kaisersol in. The Kaisersol will help clear it out a bit more. That'll go in, just mix it around through. I'll just shake it around in the bottle. I'm just quickly sanitizing the packet. Just quickly grab a sanitizer on it. I'll use my scissors. With the scissors, I'll actually sanitize that as well to stop anything getting in. Cut in like so. And we're throwing that in. All I'm doing is going to pour that in. Oh my God. It didn't pour well. This might be a problem. I cut it badly and half of it poured down the side rather than in the actual bottle. I don't know what that's going to do. I'll just leave it, see what happens. What a pain. Stir it up just like so. Now be aware that I've done a lot of stirring, so that this chamber in here is actually full of mostly carbon dioxide. So stirring it up won't be a problem, just don't go too hard. Tomorrow I'll come back, I'll put the Kaisersan in. You need to wait for 24 hours before you put that in. Throw it in on top, gently stir it, and leave it for another 2 to 3 weeks to let it settle. Alright, day 2 guys. Just quickly got to put in my Kaisersan. Take the lid off here. What? Open the slot. I won't do it like I did with the Kaisersol, get it all over the place. I'll pour it neatly, try and get it in the hole, like that. So gently put it in there, Kaisersan in. Give it a bit of a stir. Lid back on. Shook around at the top just to let it just settle on the top, and it will drift down and hopefully bring out some of the actual bits that are still in there. So we'll give it another 2 weeks and we'll transfer it into bottles. We'll see you soon. Ciao. Now it's been 3 weeks guys. I have bottled my wine. I have sat it for about 4 or 5 weeks since then. When I started it was winter time. Winter time. It is now mid-spring. So we've been at it for a while with this one. When I first bottled it, it did taste a little bit yeasty still, a little bit tangy, wasn't that great. It seems to be getting better as time progresses, and wine does. You can leave wine for years and it will just improve over time. It will come to a stop, but it's a bit like a good whiskey or a good beer, really, a stout or something like that, which I have on the go at the moment. Before I pour this wine, guys, I would like it if you could kindly take the time to subscribe, give me a thumbs up and drop me a comment below. That would be awesome. I love chatting to you guys and I learn a lot from winemakers and beer makers alike. I am an amateur. I don't do this for a living. I only do 1 or 2 a year and that's about all I can afford. So here we go. I've got a Chateau Les Maries Bordeaux. I haven't. It's not true. This is basically a recycled bottle. I try to get bottles of people out there who drink wine and tell them just send it over my way instead of getting it. Instead of sending it to the tip, I can recycle these. I'll make my own wine out of them, which is what I've done. This one's been used a couple of times now, and it's still pretty fresh. You give them a good clean. Use the same lid. Sometimes you can get replacement lids, is what I do sometimes. So you'll see some of my bottles have that. This one's sealed, and we're going to taste it right now. All right, open her up. It smells fresh. The yeasty smell's gone. It smells like wine. It's very fresh smelling. Bear in mind, this is about 13% alcohol volume. There's my beautiful little clean wine glass. I'll pour that. I might give you a bit of a look. Looking pretty good. That's a nice clear wine there. I don't know how well you guys can see that. I will take a photo and I'll pop it up to you. So we're going to taste this now. Get a good smell. It does definitely smell like a Shiraz. It's not overly strong or overwhelming. I can't smell anything off. I shouldn't either, really. It just smells like wine. I probably filled the glass too much. The wine seems to stick to the sides beautifully. Look, it's got a little bit of oily to it. Look, it's as good as a wine expert one. Gee, yeah. It's really nice. Oh, honey. I'm getting a little bit of honey in this. I don't know if I should. I've got the honey, oak. I'm getting that oak flavour through. The honey is a bit more dominant. I'm also tasting some tannin. It's not strong. It's a little bit in tannin, but that honey really is standing out big time. I don't know if I should be getting honey. Any of you wine drinkers out there, do you get honey? That's the first time I've tasted that in wine. I'm sure that's a good thing. The grape flavour is there. Yep, I'm tasting the grapes. I'm going to swill them in the mouth. I'm not going to swish it in my mouth. It's ridiculous. Why would you do that, really? Sorry. It's a really nice wine. This is going to sit around for another 3 months before I really get into it. The alcohol is definitely there. I can feel it already burning, going down. The taste is just beautiful. It is a really tasty wine. 1 more week or 2 more weeks and it'll be much more drinkable. It's drinkable now, I'll tell you now. It's really, really nice. I'm not going to say that it's as nice as my first wine expert wine. The first one I did just stood out. It was just full of flavour, lots of oak flavour. For all the oaks I put in here, for all the oak chips that I put in, the amount of oak chips I put in there, I can't really taste them as much as I would if, like the wine expert one really stood out nicely. But this is still a very nice wine. Not like the cheap ones. I mean, you can buy a cheap wine and it tastes brilliant too. So, look, I'm not going to whinge about that. That is a good wine. I had an awful one just recently. It was a local wine. I'm not going to tell you who it was. It was awful. I bought it at a market and yeah, not overly happy with it. It tasted like burnt wood. That's how bad it was. You'd think maybe someone out there might say that's what it's supposed to taste like, but mate, it wasn't good. The burnt wood flavour overwhelmed everything else. It was just terrible. And it tasted dusty in the mouth, if that helps. Anyway, this doesn't. This tastes really nice. Really, really nice. Yeah, I'm really happy with that one, guys. Thanks again. Thank you very much for watching this whole video right till the end. I hope you had a bit of fun. And I think I did too. It was a long video that I made. It took me 2.5 months to make it. And I'm really happy with the results. This wine is absolutely beautiful. On the house wines are really good if you can't get wine expert. I think they're the same thing. I really do. So on the house, good job, guys. This is a really good product. Very happy with it. And I'm going to continue buying it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.